You get home, you close the door, and even though nothing happened, nobody yelled at you, nothing went wrong, it was actually a nice time, you feel like you just ran a marathon in your mind. You sit on the edge of your bed, or sink into the couch, and there's this strange, heavy stillness. Not sadness exactly, just depletion. Like something in you has been spent. And maybe you start second-guessing yourself. It was just dinner with friends. Why do I feel like this? It was a good conversation. So why do I want to lie down in the dark and not talk to anyone for the next 12 hours? If that feeling is familiar to you, stay with me for the next few minutes. Because what you're experiencing has a name, a reason, and it's a lot more common than you think. Let's paint the picture a little more clearly. You go to a friend's birthday dinner. The food is good. The people are kind. Someone tells a funny story, and you actually laugh. A real laugh, not a polite one. On the surface, everything about the night says, this was fine. This was even good. But somewhere around hour 2, you notice something shift. You start doing this thing where you nod along a beat too quickly. You laugh slightly before the joke even finishes, just to keep the rhythm going. You catch yourself thinking about your exit, not because you want to leave the people, but because some invisible tank inside you is running low. By the time you're driving home or lying in bed, you feel it in your body, not just your mind. Your shoulders feel tight. Your eyes feel heavy in a specific way, different from being sleepy. You crave silence like other people crave water after a long walk. And here's the part that trips people up. You liked the people. You're not avoiding them. You're not over the friendship. So the tiredness feels confusing, almost like a betrayal of your own affection for them. This matters more than most people realize, because this feeling, if left unexamined, quietly starts to shape your life in ways you don't notice. You start declining invitations, not because you don't want connection, but because you're afraid of the crash afterward. You start feeling guilty for needing space, like there's something wrong with you for not being endlessly available. Some people even start to wonder if they're bad at relationships, or secretly antisocial or emotionally broken somehow. But none of that is true. What you're feeling has a real psychological explanation, and once you understand it, the guilt tends to fall away, because you finally see that you were never broken. You were just spending a resource that nobody ever taught you to notice. So here's what's actually happening. Psychologists talk about something called cognitive load. Basically, the mental effort your brain spends processing information in real time. And social interaction, even pleasant social interaction, is one of the heaviest cognitive loads there is. Think about everything your brain is doing during a normal conversation. It's tracking tone of voice. It's reading facial expressions. It's timing your responses so you don't interrupt, but also don't leave an awkward silence. It's managing your own facial expression so you look interested, even during the boring parts. It's remembering what was said 5 minutes ago so your response actually connects. It's monitoring how you're coming across. Did that sound weird? Did I talk too much? Are they getting bored? That is an enormous amount of simultaneous processing. And it's happening underneath the actual content of the conversation, underneath the words about work or relationships or what show everyone's watching. There's also a concept called emotional labor, the effort of managing not just your own emotions, but the emotional atmosphere of a group, making sure the mood stays comfortable, softening a joke that landed a little wrong, reading the room and adjusting yourself to fit it. None of this is dramatic. It's subtle. It's quiet. It happens so smoothly that you don't even register it as work while it's happening. But your nervous system registers it. And afterward, it sends the bill. Real quick, before we go on, if that explanation just made something click for you, that's exactly what this channel is for. Hit subscribe if you want more of these. Now, let's make this real with a few everyday examples. Think about the difference between texting a close friend and being on a video call with the same person. Texting, you can pause, you can think, you can walk away mid-thought and come back later. A video call demands real-time performance, timing, expression, presence, all at once. That's why an hour on a video call can feel more draining than an entire evening of texting, even though the connection is the same person. Or think about the difference between a walk with your best friend, where there are long stretches of comfortable silence, versus a work networking event, where you're meeting new people back to back. Both are technically socializing, but one asks almost nothing of your nervous system. The other asks for constant scanning, constant adjusting, constant performance. This is also why some people can spend 6 hours with one specific person and feel energized, but spend 45 minutes in a group of acquaintances and feel completely wiped. It was never really about the number of hours. It was about how much monitoring, adjusting, and performing your mind had to do the entire time. Now, here's the deeper layer, the part that usually stays hidden. For a lot of people, this tiredness isn't just about cognitive effort. It's about something a little more vulnerable, the fear of being perceived. If you grew up in an environment where you had to read a room to stay safe, sensing a parent's mood, softening yourself so you wouldn't be too much, adjusting to keep the peace, then social interaction was never neutral for you. It was never just hanging out. It was scanning. It was monitoring for shifts in tone, watching faces for signs of disapproval, staying one step ahead so you wouldn't be caught off guard. That kind of vigilance becomes so automatic, you stop noticing you're doing it. It doesn't feel like fear. It just feels like being a considerate person or being good in social situations. But underneath, your nervous system is working overtime, treating connection like something that needs to be carefully managed, rather than something that can simply be received. So when you feel drained after socializing, sometimes it's not just because conversation is mentally effortful in general. It's because some part of you was quietly asking the whole time, am I safe here? Am I liked? Did I say too much? Did I take up too much space? That's not small talk fatigue. That's emotional vigilance fatigue. And it's a completely different kind of tired. Here's what most people misunderstand about all of this. They think being tired after socializing means something is wrong with the friendship, the personality, or the person. They think, I must be an introvert who just doesn't like people. Or maybe I don't actually enjoy this relationship. Or worse, something is wrong with me. But needing recovery time after connection doesn't mean the connection was bad. A muscle gets sore after a workout, not because the workout was wrong, but because the muscle was actually used. Feeling drained after real engagement with other people isn't proof that something failed. It's proof that something real happened. You were present. You were tracking, feeling, responding, adjusting. That takes energy precisely because it mattered to you. The mistake isn't feeling tired. The mistake is interpreting the tiredness as a red flag about the relationship, instead of understanding it as a normal human cost of genuine engagement. So what do you actually do with this? Not some big life overhaul, just a shift in how you relate to your own tiredness. Start noticing the difference between the content of your interactions and the cost of them. Some conversations cost very little. Comfortable silence, familiar people, no performance required. Others cost a lot. New people, group dynamics, emotional topics, environments where you feel subtly watched or judged. Neither is wrong, but knowing the difference lets you plan your energy the way you'd plan a budget. You wouldn't spend your entire paycheck the same way every month without checking your account first. Your social energy deserves the same basic respect. And when you feel that post-socializing exhaustion creeping in, instead of judging it, just gently acknowledge it. That took a lot out of me because I actually engaged. That's not weakness. That's evidence I was really there. Which brings us to the real realization underneath all of this. The tiredness you feel after socializing was never a sign that something is wrong with you. It was a sign that you are a person who actually shows up, who listens, who reads people, who cares about how the room feels, who puts real effort into connection instead of just going through the motions. The people who feel nothing after socializing usually aren't more socially skilled. They're often just less present, less attuned. less invested in the emotional experience of the people around them. Your exhaustion is, in a strange way, a form of evidence. Evidence that you weren't faking it. Evidence that you were really fully there. So the next time you get home from being around people and that quiet heaviness settles in, don't rush to fix it. And don't rush to explain it away as something wrong with you. Let it be what it actually is. The natural human weight of having genuinely connected with someone. You're not broken. You're not too sensitive. You're not bad at people. You're just someone who feels things fully. And that, more than almost anything else, is worth protecting, not correcting.